viewers, and thanks for joining us on Lina TV News. I am Hassana Salisu. First, the headlines. Vice President Kashim Shettima calls on Central Bank to address arbitrary charges imposed on POS operators. Federal government statutory allocation hits 564 billion naira in October. Oil marketers and the Nigerian National Petroleum Company set to ensure heat-free distribution of product during and after Yuletide. Stay tuned for more details. Vice President Kashim Shettima has called on the Central Bank of Nigeria and commercial banks to urgently address the growing concerns surrounding high and arbitrary charges imposed by point-of-sale operators, which he described as an impediment to financial inclusion in Nigeria. Presented by the Special Advisor to the President on Economic Matters, Tope Fasua, Shettima made the call in a speech delivered at the 2024 Annual Bankers Committee retreat in Abuja. He decreed what he called the moral hazard and adverse selection issues associated with POS merchants who have been accused of exploiting customers with excessive transaction fees. The Vice President called for immediate regulatory action to curb the exploitative practices in the POS sector. He urged the CBN Bank to step up efforts to ensure that POS charges are fair, transparent, and reasonable. The federal government statutory allocation to the National Assembly and the National Judicial Council in 2024 has hit a total sum of 564 billion naira in October. In February, the House of Representatives pushed for 5% of the country's yearly budget to be allocated to the federal legislature and judiciary. The Green Chambers initiated a process to amend Nigeria's Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2007 by inserting Section 54 Act, which will make provision for the allocation of 5% each to the National Assembly and the Federal Judiciary in the Appropriation Act for each year. It will be recalled that before then, the National Assembly has raised its 2024 budgetary allocation from 197.93 billion naira to 344.85 billion naira, marking the highest ever budgetary allocation in the Assembly's history. Oil marketers and Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited have signed a deal for a hitch-free distribution of petroleum products during and after Yuletide season. This was disclosed by National Public Relations Officer of the Petroleum Retail Operators Association of Nigeria, Petron, Dr. Joseph Obile, on Friday following an official visit to the National President of Petron, Dr. Billy Harry, alongside his team to the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC in Abuja. The association also presented an award as an honorary Life Council member of Petron and as the most productive GMD and GCEO of NNPC to carry. This strategic meeting was very successful as matters on effective collaboration between the NNPC and Petron to ensure seamless distribution of petroleum products across the country during and after Yuletide period was discussed. The federal government has declared that both public and private healthcare facilities nationwide must attend to victims of gunshots with or without police clearance. The directive is contained in a statement issued by the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare on Saturday via its official X handle. The statement, titled Non-Compliance of Medical Facilities on the Gunshot Act 2017, signed by the Director of Information, Patricia Dewo-Trishe, said the ministry had received complaints on rejection of gunshot victims by hospitals nationwide, which had resulted in loss of lives. It also said the order is on the directive of the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Minister Professor Muhammad Pati. According to the statement, gunshot victims come under emergencies that require urgent medical attention to save the lives of patients or victims. The Kano state government has accused the federal government of orchestrating the barricade of the palace of the 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, by security operatives on Thursday. The secretary to the state government, Abdullahi Baffa Bichi, made the claims during an interview on a local radio station. The incident, which took many by surprise, saw the police sealing off the entrance to the Emir's palace in Kano City, preventing planned activities. Bichi expressed shock over development, describing it as a deliberate move to create unrest in the peaceful state. He further alleged that the order to barricade the palace came directly from the federal government. Ghanaians voted in election on Saturday with frontrunners Vice President and former Central Bank banker Muhammadu Bawumia and opposition ex-president John Mahama facing off in a closely fought race. Ghana's struggling economy emerged as the dominant electoral issue after the West African gold and cocoa producer went through a debt default, high inflation, and negotiations for a 3 billion IMF bailout. Voters will choose a successor to President Nana Akufo-Addo, who steps down after his legally allowed two-term, and will also elect the country's new parliament. Voting opened at 7 o'clock GMT and will close at 5 o'clock GMT on Saturday, with early results expected on Sunday and full results for the presidential election expected by Tuesday. Nigerian Economic Summit Group has faulted the decision of the Senate to suspend action of the tax reform bills that had generated a lot of controversy across the country. Chief Executive Officer of NESG, Tayo Adu-Loju, made the stance of the think tank known during a media session. On Wednesday, the Senate suspended action on the tax reform bills and instructed its Committee on Finance to stay action on the public hearing pending the time the agitation in the public space was addressed. The Senate further constituted a special committee to meet with the executive arm of the government and work with the federal government to resolve the tax reform bills issues. And that's about the size of our package on Lina TV News. Do well to follow us on our social media platform on Lina TV 247 or visit our website at www.linatv.com.ng.